Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you 3 DIYs, all from the Dollar Tree, and they're all beautiful, neutral, farmhouse style fall decor. So let's get going. Alright guys, so DIY number 1, I'm going to take this dollar spot from Target pumpkin. Dollar Tree does not have, at least my Dollar Trees do not have the larger ones, the larger pumpkins. So I wanted to try the technique on a larger pumpkin, but you can certainly use one from Dollar Tree if that's what you have. I'm going to give this pumpkin a lot of texture. Normally when I want to add texture, I use the technique of adding caulk or not caulk, spackle, there you go. And I spread it all over. But for this one, I kind of want to try something different. I'm going to try Mod Podge and tissue paper. Tissue paper, as you know, it's so thin that when it gets wet, it kind of um, almost melts. I feel like it just really gets really gooey. And so that's why I wanted it and not any other paper. I'm just going to cut it up in different pieces. It does not matter. This is all going to be scrunched up and it's meant to give the pumpkin texture. So I'm just going to cut it or tear it into smaller pieces. And then I'm going to start covering the pumpkin. I remove the stem, but later I will replace it and put it back on before I paint it. So I'm going to start at the bottom, but there really isn't no right or wrong way or where to start. Just start either at the bottom or at the top. And then start putting on Mod Podge. What I did, now this is the first time I ever did it, so really I'm learning as I go. As I start putting Mod Podge, then I start putting on the tissue paper. And all I'm doing is being as sporadic as possible. There's no right or wrong way. Just putting it on and scrunching it. And then if there are any pieces that kind of lift up, just lift it up, put a little bit more Mod Podge, stick it on. And then I cover the entire thing with more Mod Podge. So I add Mod Podge before the tissue paper and then Mod Podge on top of the tissue paper.
Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Before you turn away, I just want you to know that I didn't throw your stuff away. Before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find, I'm standing right here. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light.
Once I had the entire pumpkin pretty covered and in kind of where I wanted it or liked, but you can put as much tissue as you want. I then start just brushing Mod Podge all over it, just making sure anything that may be lifted up is pushed down, and then also using the brush to kind of give the pumpkin the shape, just pushing down on those ridges. And this is what it looks like. Doesn't it look kind of creepy? The color of the tissue paper almost made it look like skin. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I took it outside and I'm going to spray paint it black using Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint. And I gave it one heavy coat. I do advise that if you are going to redo this, that once you paint it, you let it dry and then you flip it over and paint it, because some paint did not get right underneath the like little ridges of where the tissue paper was. So that was one thing that I didn't do. So I do have to take it back out and spray paint it. But anyways, the spray paint did cover a lot of it. So there you have it. Look how cute that looks. Oh my gosh, I love that texture. So as you can see, I did replace back the stem and I spray painted it. And now I'm going to take this Dollar Tree, oh my God, it's not ribbon. Oh, for the love. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Oh, yarn. There it goes. So I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to wrap the stem. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with the stem, if I should leave it black, which I think looks pretty cool, very Halloweenish, but I wanted it to have more of a farmhouse look. I wanted to soften up a little bit. So I'm just going to wrap it in the yarn all around until it's fully covered and secure with hot glue.
Maybe I'm just too weak, maybe I'm just afraid of being alone. Well, I don't care, 'cause right now I feel the love that we said we would burn. Oh, I know that you feel it too.
I still felt like something was missing on the pumpkin, so I decided to add what I thought was going to be it's a yarn bow. So I wrapped it around my four fingers, and then after I had it wrapped up enough, I then just folded it and tied it in the middle, kind of like to make a bow. But it's yarn, so it didn't look like a bow. It ended up looking like a flimsy little pom-pom. But, I made it work. I tied it around. I'm still not sure if this is what I want it to look like. So, but anyways, I just thought it just added more texture and a little bit of detail. So I placed it on there. And then we'll be done with this one, guys. And I just tell you, gosh, this texture I have to redo again. It is absolutely stunning. And I just think even if you added more tissue paper, how cool would that be? Or even add like different designs on the tissue paper. It would be really cool.
I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her.
All right, DIY number 2, I'm going to take this Dollar Tree Beware sign and I'm going to remove the ribbon as well as sand off all the glitter from the letters. Guys, I'm sure if you've done this before, it is a lot of work. This glitter gets everywhere, but there's something so weird and satisfying about it that I just love. So there you go. It's a love-hate relationship with the glitter on the signs. So once I had it removed, I made sure that I dusted it and cleaned it very, very well. And then I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white.
I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could.
Once the paint was dry, now I'm going to make some lines. So you see that the sign has those little ridges on each end. I just felt like they look like planks. So I'm going to make lines all across, and I could not find my yardstick anywhere. So I had to use this piece of scrap flooring to make the lines, and I just made the lines all the way to the top.
Do this right, we'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Stay till the morning light. Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy.
Alright, so now I am going to take my drill and I am just going to drill holes all down each side. So the original sign had 2 of them, and I thought about filling them in so that you don't see them. But then I thought, you know what, instead of filling them in, I'm just going to make more holes on each plank. And I think it just added this cute little detail to it.
Or would you stay with me now till the morning? Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would.
Alright, so I keep some of my decals from different Cricut stencils that I make. So if I cut a stencil and I am using the stencil part of it, if I'm able to save the decal, I use them. And so I use this pumpkin word on another project, and I just thought it would be cute for this one. So I'm going to use the stencil part of it. And then I take another, the 2 and the 9 from another project that you see on that piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to make it pumpkins 25 cents. And then I don't have the cents, so I'm just going to use the E that you see there, make it into a C, and then add the 2 little dots or little lines to make the cent symbol.
Stay with me now
And so that everything matches, I am now going to take that same yarn and wrap it around on each end to add some texture and details.
know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're
And to finish it off, I'm going to take 3 of these Dollar Tree pumpkin picks, and I am going to hot glue them to the sign. At first, I thought I wanted them all together like a little pumpkin vignette, but then I decided to separate them, and I just hot glued them in place. And then I did add a claw hook or 2 claw hooks on the back so that it can be hung.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head.
All right, guys, so we are about done with this one, and I think it's probably my favorite, although I really love that pumpkin. But this turned out super cute, and it sold within minutes of finishing it. I'm so excited.
I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left.
All right, guys, so DIY number 3 in our final DIY for today. So I'm going to take this Dollar Tree sign. It is square, so I am going to reshape it and cut it into two different parts. So first, of course, we got to sand down all the glitter and wipe it off. And then once that's done, I'm going to start cutting them into 2 pieces, smaller ones, so that I can make tags.
I've been staring at the ceiling, I've been staying up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye.
There's no right or wrong size for this. I'm just looking for or to make tags that are not so tall. So I'm just kind of eyeing it out and just kind of seeing what I like. So if you're going to recreate something like this, just go with what you want to see. But if you want exact measurements, I'd say I'm cutting about, let's see, about 2 inches or, yeah, about 2 inches off the top just to create more of a, maybe like a 10-inch high tags. And then I'm just going to find the middle so then I can have my 2 sides with equal sides.
I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue. Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do?
And then I'm going to find the middle on the top. And again, there's no exact measurements. It's just where you want the angles to go and how long they should go. It really is up to you. But I did it where I had 2 inches on each side and then about 3 inches down. And then I just marked them. And I want both my tags to be exactly the same size. So I'm going to use one and, each other to keep each other in the same measurements.
I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. And I know there's so much more to this life, but it's hard to see it clearly. Yeah, I tried my best, but nothing turns out right. God, I need you now so dearly, 'cause I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can,
And of course, don't worry about if the edges are not like straight and smooth because you can always just sand it down and it sands down pretty good. For the holes on top, I decided to use my drill, and this is like probably my thickest drill bit that I was able to find, which was fine for tags this size, but any tags any bigger, I think something, a hole a little bigger would be best, but for this size, I think this drill bit worked perfectly fine.
I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything
All right, so I'm going to give one of the tags 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and then the other one is going to take two coats of pale sepia in this, and that is the bare chalk paint.
can. I ain't got nothing left. Nothing left. Nothing left.
All right, I used my Cricut to cut these designs. I downloaded these designs from Cricut Design Space, and I am just going to add a pumpkin to the pale sepia one, and then Sweet Farm decal to the white one. I would love to give away one of each of these decals to one of you guys. So if you can please, if you want to participate, just go down in the description, or not description box, in the comments, and write down which one of these DIYs is your favorite, and also where are you from. I always love to find out where my viewers are from. It's so beautiful to know that I have viewers from all over the world, so I'd love to hear where you're from. And that's it. I will pick out a winner and then mail these out to you. So I hope you'd love to participate.
Look out, here she comes. The woman that
And now I'm going to use a piece of scrap foam board from the Dollar Tree. You know those foam boards. I just cut a little piece. This is just going to add some dimension and almost like a 3D. So they're not laying right on top of each other. And I'm just going to hot glue it.
I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel, because she has someone who makes her happy. I'm a ghost in these walls, or at least I try to be.
For the string or the rope, I guess, you know, I was tempted to use jute twine because I use jute twine or rope all the time. But again, I want all of these 3 pieces to kind of match each other. And so I wanted to use the yarn. I'm just going to cut. I am not even measuring, guys. Like, seriously, I don't even know what size this is. But if I were to guess, it's probably about 20 inches long. And I cut 6 strips. Now I'm going to tie it on one end, and then I'm just going to braid it. So I'm going to separate little bundles of 2, and those will be my strands. And then I'm just going to braid them and then knot them on the bottom, and I'll make 2 of those.
'Cause I hope that I'm not showing how I feel.
All right, so I left the bottoms a little bit frayed. That way it kind of made it look like tassels. And I'm just going to thread the top knot through the holes and hot glue them to the back.
For her, but she won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture in my mind. It's just the 2 of us, just the 2 of us. But
All right, so we are just about done. I'm hot gluing the last one here, and these turned out adorable, guys. They actually sold right away after I posted them here locally. And seriously, how stinking cute are these? And if you want a chance, again, to win one of each decals, I'd love for you to comment down below which of these DIYs is your favorite, and then also where are you from, what country. All right, and so guys, if this is your first time visiting my channel, I'd love for you to consider subscribing and becoming part of our YouTube family. And if you are returning, as always, I want to say thank you for coming back and watching my videos. And guys, as always, have a blessed day.
she that I love her so well. She's with somebody else, and I will have to let her go.